Time for Paul Hamilton's check-in on the Sabres' win last night. His appearance brought to you by Raylax Honda. Raylax, we got this. Paul, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're all right. Sabres get a big win last night, 8-4. Their first of the season, the home win, a division win, and a bunch of goals as well. So we'll pick through it. The power play got going, and the arena got energized, and, whatever. It had been a while since a win, so we'll take a win and see if they can build on it.
And we got to hear "Kickstart My Heart" a lot, Paul, which I know you were on top of.
It's funny. I saw someone write. I think Eddie on Twitter tweeted, 3 goals in a row. "Kickstart My Heart" really starts to hit.
Yeah.
And I feel like just about any song after you score 8, you're gonna start to feel good about.
I laughed out loud at your tweet, which was if they played the Humpty Dumpty song after scoring 8 goals, we would like that as the goal song.
See, it was not Humpty Dumpty. I said it was the Humpty Dance.
Humpty Dance?
Do you know the Humpty Dance?
No.
It's a terrible moment for the show that you don't know the Humpty Dance. That's okay, though.
It's gonna be some dance from like 1982.
Do your kids know the Humpty Dance?
Mine?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Maybe they will. Do you not know the Humpty Dance?
I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
Does anyone here know? If Owen doesn't know, yeah, this is you. This is a you problem, not an us
think this
problem.
makes me look bad?
This is a you problem.
You think this makes me look bad? That 4 adults don't know the Humpty Dance?
Wait a minute. Let's call Howard Simon and see if he knows.
He doesn't know it either.
Can you find anybody that knows it other than yourself?
Your
Twitter's gonna know.
I fear your mentions.
My mentions. All right.
You probably do know the Humpty Dance. You just don't know that you know it.
That's probably right, yeah.
All right, Paul. Not Humpty Dance related, although that's my new campaign for next year's goal song now. We had a call right before the break talk about Zach Benson. It was his first game. Their first game with Benson, his first win, their first one, I should say. Let's talk about him because, we've had a lot to say about him, and he's been a nice player for the Sabres since he showed up. But the question was always, will he ever see the score sheet? And he did in a big way last night.
Right. He 4 assists, and even the shorthanded goal by McLeod, he had an opportunity to score there, but still, made the play he got stopped. But what was he doing? Even though they were shorthanded, McLeod gets the goaltender to turn the puck over, but he goes to the net. And that's what Benson's going to do. That's what Josh Doan's going to do. And they combined for 7 assists between the two of them because they play quite a bit. They're quite the same in the way they play. And I think Josh Doan gave the fans a dose of what they're going to see from him. I think he's going to be a fan favorite the way he plays the game. And it's just like that. I mean, he's in the middle of everything, whether it's a battle on the boards, whether it's a battle in front of the net, and he wins those battles, and he is around the net. And, he's constantly coming out with the puck when he's in battle, and that's exactly what Benson does. Benson can be on his hands and knees and still protect the puck. And, it's just it's an element of the game that they weren't getting. And he gets into the lineup and, shows exactly why they have missed him.
It could have been 5 assists, by the way, Paul, because the building had kind of just exploded off that McLeod shorthanded goal. And then was it like 10 seconds later that Benson stole the puck and hit McLeod on a breakaway that got stopped? So it could have been 5. Does he look faster to you? Because last year, like the player tracking stats that the NHL's had in the last couple of years had him as one of the slowest players in the league. And I don't know if he's like the fastest guy out there now, but I wonder how much he might have worked to improve that over the summer because I thought it looked a little different last night.
Yeah, he that is one of the things he's been trying to improve and work on, in the summer. It's part of the, he was kind of like when he went to the off season, it was his full game that he wanted to work on, and that was one of the things. Because you can change your skating style a little bit and improve your speed. It's not like, well, this is what you're stuck with. You're born either you're a good skater, you're a bad skater, fast skater, slow skater. It's something that if you work with a coach, you can get better at. And it is something that he's tried to work on.
Him on the top line, Paul, and Doan right now playing on the second line. So I feel like those two, their value. I mean, Doan has 3 assists last night. That they're kind of the What did Tuck call Doan last night? The dog? Like they're the dogs of those
That's
two
exactly
lines up top?
what he is.
Yeah,
he's like a junkyard dog. He's always nipping at your heels, no matter where. And teams don't like to play against him either because he's just at you, on you, and he's just agitating you. They're alike. I mean, Benson's like that too. Now, Benson didn't have the whole Ottawa team chasing him all over the ice like he normally does, probably because he had a face shield on and. There's only so much you can do with the face shield, but it's and think about it too. The Sabres haven't had a lot of breaks because, quite honestly, they haven't deserved a lot of breaks. This is a game where you make your own breaks, and I think Lindy Ruff might have had the quote of the year already. When he talked right near the end of his press conference, and I'll repeat what he said. He says, you have to fight your way through tough parts of the season. Our fight wasn't good enough in the first 3 games. I don't care whether we're hurt or not. We didn't earn enough. We didn't deserve enough. We didn't fight enough. I thought tonight we fought for everything we got. Perfect. That's exactly right. I mean, they got a break right off the bat. Why? Because, on the power play, you got Quinn in front of the net. Well, he missed the net. He put it over the top of the net into the glass. But he shoots hard enough where he had enough oomph on the puck. It came back, hit the goaltender in the back, and went in. They haven't gotten a break like that in a game. And, that kind of got them started. But still, you know what? Think about it. It wasn't a real good first period. You know how many 5-on-5 shots they had in the first period?
Was it 3, 4?
None.
Right.
None. Oh, okay.
They had 3 shots overall. They all came on that power play.
Okay.
And that was it. And then you guys talked about the fans just getting into it. That they start taking penalties. Byram goes to the box. Sanderson scores. The fans don't like that they allow the goal. Lindy challenges it. Gets another penalty because he doesn't get the challenge. And then Tuck takes a penalty, and the fans they're not happy about that. And then they get the shorthanded goal, and the place goes nuts. And you could see that the players they really it was the energy in that building, even though there weren't a lot of people in there. That energy that those fans, everything came up. You could see the team got up, the fans got up, the building got up, and then it was just goal after goal, like right away. It was bang. A few seconds, a minute later, bang, another one. And they just built on it and just kept going after that.
Well, Paul, I think what you're getting at here is like belief. And that's why the 0-3 start was so terrible. And, even opening night you said was a disaster because fans need belief, and, man, these players could use some too. Even if they get lucky in the next 5 games, for them to believe that they could make the playoffs and they could be a good team I feel like that would have value, right? I'm thinking back to Lindy's famous quote about the hope tank. I didn't want their hope tank to be all dried out by the time we get to November 1st. So wins are wins, and whether that's Benson and the Norris injuries in there too, like, oh, wow, nothing can ever go our way. So to get a positive result, you need more of them, but I think I want to be banking those, and if I'm the head coach, I got to do everything I can to make sure the belief stays in the room.
Yeah, you can compete just even though even Norris and Kesselring and others, Greenway and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen are all hurt. You can still compete. That has nothing to do with injuries. And they weren't competing hard enough. It's as simple as that. And, why did McLeod score that shorthanded goal? Because he finally, he was the one that I thought to myself, what had happened to him in the first 3 games? He was -5. He just was nothing like he's a guy who won over 50% of his faceoffs. He had won like 32%, something like that. And it was just he was nowhere. Well, he got in there with his speed. He got in on the goaltender, forced a turnover, got out to Benson, went to the net, and got the rebound and scored the shorthanded goal. And then he looked like himself for the rest of the game. He was flying out there. Why? Because they weren't using their speed in the first 3 games. Lindy Ruff talked about that before the game yesterday, that we got to use our speed. We're not using our speed at all. And he got that finally in the second period when, that shorthanded goal went in, and then it would just like the floodgates opened after that, and by the time they were done, I think they had 4 goals in that period.
Paul, in the third, 2 early goals by Ottawa. Did you feel like, okay, we've seen this movie before, it might get away from them here?
You know what movie we hadn't seen is a coach that actually uses his timeout.
Right.
I will tell you, and I'm not speaking out of turn here, because Brian, he would talk about that, and it drove him out of his mind when Granato would not call timeouts when the team, things like that were happening to the team. And it's like, you just never got your game back, and you still have your timeout. What are you doing? Why didn't you call timeout to, And that's exactly what Ruff did, and he basically called it to calm them down. I was watching him. It wasn't like he was into him, like he was screaming at him, but he was just letting them know, guys, don't be afraid to make plays. You guys right now are afraid to make plays. Nobody wants the puck. Want the puck. Want to make plays. Want to get up ice. You know how long it took for them to score after that timeout? 17 seconds. Because Alex Tuch took the puck. He went roaring up the left wing. McLeod was with him. McLeod also came up with speed, jumped into an open area. Tuch found him, and it's in the net. And then 45 seconds after that, Peyton Krebs leads a 3-on-1. Why? Because guys are skating up ice. And Quinn comes down, put a nice nifty move on the goaltender, and now you've got a 7-4 lead back. It was a very well-placed, wise timeout by Lindy Ruff.
On the Sabres in their 8-4 win over the Ottawa Senators last night. So talked a little Benson. Their power play got going. They get the job done really here. Paul, Alex Lyon and net, they're leaning all the way in on him, huh? Like Colton Ellis, I don't know when that's going to happen or what the plan will be, but,
or if it will. I mean,
right.
if UPL, he's practicing, right, Paul?
Yeah.
So like if he
he's
gets healthy,
practicing,
maybe we don't see Ellis.
But I think no. I think you will, only because I think Luukkonen's only played 1 period since April. I think he's going to go to Rochester and play a few games before he sees it in the NHL. Honestly, I bet you, had they not been 0-3, this would have been the game for Ellis. Yeah. But you can't. You couldn't. You're 0-3.
Yeah.
There's no way you could put him into that game. I don't know if you want to throw him in against Florida on Saturday, but I mean. Really, you don't need a backup goaltender right now because the games are spread out enough. You really don't need it till the Toronto home and home. I don't know if you want his first game to be in Toronto, but hey, it's the NHL. It's when they need him and they need him, and let's go type of a thing. But and the thing is too, you got to build on this win that you got. I mean, if you go back against Florida on Saturday and go out to start playing the way you did the first 3 games, what did this game mean for you? Really not a lot. I mean, you got to build on this game and take it into the Florida game. Win or lose, that's what the thing. You got to take it into that game with you.
At the risk of they got to go on a run so they can go on a run 4 games into the season. Florida is a tough opponent, but they've got their injuries. And
they've lost back-to-back.
That's right. Yeah. But after that, Montreal, Detroit, and Toronto twice, and Columbus. Like, if you
it's division games, you gotta.
It's not just division games, but I don't see teams there that I should. If I'm any sort of quality team, that's not a difficult stretch of your schedule. I guess I want to say, like, if you can find an A game, your season can be back on really quickly here.
Yeah, if they play like they did, starting with that shorthanded goal till the rest to the game, except for the minute and a half where they gave up the 2 goals in the third period, they can beat any team they want to, with injuries or without injuries. I mean, you play like that, once again, you'll start getting breaks because you'll create your own breaks because you're playing the game the right way. I mean, you're not going to get breaks around the net if you're not around the net. How can you get breaks around the net if you're playing on the perimeter and you're not around the net? You don't have guys around the goaltender. The breaks aren't going to go your way. You kind of create your own breaks by playing the game the right way.
Yeah, or if you don't have the puck in the first place, right? Like if you're chasing all night, then you're not going to get him either. Paul, was maybe the only negative thing, I don't even know if you would call it this, Kulich last night. How did you feel about Kulich? There was he got demoted, I guess, to the 4th line. Lindy got asked about him in postgame. How How did you feel about his game? Was it any better?
Nah, not really. I mean, I think he was -2 on the game, if I'm not mistaken. He did score the empty netter, but he just kind of I was watching some of his shifts and just kind of paying attention to him, and he was kind of just aimlessly going around. He just seems a little bit lost right now, which is kind of surprising with the way he finished the year last year and the way he played last year. But Lindy Ruff talked about using your speed. It doesn't look like he's skating very well. He doesn't look like he's using his speed. He's winds up in the wrong place, and he's spinning his wheels right now, and he seems almost confused out there that not going his way. I mean, and once Danforth got hurt, he started playing on different lines and was getting a better opportunity to play. And who knows? Maybe even though it was an empty net goal, maybe that gets him going. All right, a puck finally crossed the line for him. All right, now let's see what you do. In the next game. But Lindy Ruff had said he's going to be very interested to see what Kulik's response is, and I don't think it was a very good one.
You would imagine though, like their top six probably, especially after an 8-goal performance, would hold to what it was into Saturday, with him still being in the bottom.
We'll see. It could, because Danforth got hurt. We don't know what kind of injury that is, but he couldn't finish the game, so that takes one forward out. How close is Greenway? Is he going to be ready by Saturday? With the team's off today, but I'm sure probably is down there skating, and then gets another practice in. So, is that going to be enough to get him ready to come back and get back into the lineup? I think it just depends. Because don't forget, Greenway, Zucker, and McLeod were a very good line together. It was a good complementary line to the top six. When those three could play together, then injuries kind of took Zucker away from that line. But when that line was together, I thought all three played very well.
Paul Hamilton on the Sabres win. Thanks, Paul.
Yep, take care, guys.
Paul's appearance brought to you by Raylex Honda. Raylex, we got this.